Did you know that politics actually affect preppers? We like to think that it doesn't, but it does. Stick around. We're going to talk about it. Squirrel! I haven't done one of these in a while, so I figured it was time to knock one out. Politics for preppers, or prepper politics. Prepper politics. Politics affect preppers, believe it or not. And they do it in a one single little way. Most preppers just want to be left alone. They want to raise their families. They just want to be happy, instead of everybody in their business all the time. So what I like to do on these shows is just tell you about some of the stuff that's going on in politics and how it's good for preppers or bad for preppers. So the first thing is Liz Cheney. If you don't know who she is, she was the leader of the House Republican Party GOP. I'm sorry, the House Republican Conference. And traditionally, that person's job is to kind of help guide the GOP within the House, provide them with support, basically anything they need to help those guys do their job. And also it's a leadership position, so she got to make decisions about the conference itself. Well, yesterday they got rid of her. They voted her out. I heard it was a pretty high vote count too, but those kind of things are never really published. Why? Well, it doesn't help her at all that whether we like it or not, the Republican Party is now the Trump Party. And whether you're a Republican who hates Trump or a never Trumper or you're whatever you are, you have to come to that realization because Trump embodied American values. There's no way to get around it. There's no way to get around it. Why was she kicked out? Well, she kind of pissed a lot of people off because she decided that she wasn't going to do her job. It's that easy. As the leader or as the chair of the House Republican Conference, she had certain duties. She refused to do them. There are some people that say, well, that she didn't want to be pigeonholed. She didn't want to be set aside to be forced to do that instead of doing her political jobs. The problem with that theory is that it was her responsibility. People can elect her. People can nominate her to do that particular job within the conference, but they can't make her take it. We've seen it over and over with multiple politicians where they were nominated, but they're like, no, that's not what I want to do right now. So I think Paul Ryan was like that. They wanted him to do something before he was leader of the House. But he told them, no, I'm not going to do that right now. Anyway, so she decided she didn't want to do any of that stuff, but she committed to the job herself. Somebody nominated her. They took a vote. And she was then voted in as the chair of the House Republican Conference. And then she decided she didn't want to do her job anymore. She also kind of took every little moment to give the middle finger to Trump. That pissed a lot of people off. The Republicans are trying to unify the party. I hate using that term unify because, once the liberals start using a term, I hate using it. How does this help preppers? Well, it goes towards national stability. Preppers only get upset and bothered and irritated when things are not going right in the world that are going to affect them and their family. Let's face it, during the Trump administration, preppers were happy. They were like, finally, I don't have to worry about shortages of things. I don't have to worry about somebody encroaching into my life. This guy just wants to live and let live, and we loved it. So, yeah, it goes towards national stability that this Liz Cheney was removed because now she's literally probably not ever going to. Well, let's just say she most likely will not be reelected. The next thing is Mitt Romney. He's been on the skyline for at least 2 weeks now. Specifically with Liz Cheney, he tried to defend her actions, getting in line with all the other RINOs that are inside the House. As well as the Senate, and saying, this is bad. We shouldn't do this. She should definitely stay in place. Mitt Romney, quote, expelling Liz Cheney from leadership won't gain the GOP one additional vote, but it will cost us quite a few. I'm not sure. That sounded like a very vague threat. Well, I'm here to tell you, Mr. Romney, it didn't do any good, and you know it. And you knew it wouldn't because you're RINO. Then, like yesterday, he verbally accosted Senator Josh Hawley on the Senate floor. Quote, "You have caused this," in reference to the January 6th incident. How in the hell did a senator cause the stupidity that happened that day? It doesn't make any sense. But it didn't work out for the guy, and hopefully it's going to start creating a snowball effect so we can get rid of this guy through the voting process. On Monday, both Washington and Weber County GOP voted to censure Mitt Romney. So now that has to go through their legislature, I believe, and this could cause some serious problems. If you don't know what censure means, I'll read it for you. Formal disapproval. They are making it formal that they don't like what he is doing, how he's acting, the way he's voting. He is not representing those two counties. Whether they're rural counties or not, or red counties, I don't know. But he is technically a Republican who was actually a Democrat, and before that he was an independent. So he seems to have a problem with his evolving relationships in politics. How does this help preppers? It just takes us one step closer to national stability again. We worry about these guys. We know we can smell a rat, and we know when something's wrong. And Mitt Romney was never a Republican, and let's face it, he's the one who kind of had the deciding vote on whether Trump was impeached. Yeah, and that didn't go too well for him either. But yeah, it's not good. In the news, within the last 24 hours, in reference to, where are we at here? Back to Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney, Nancy Pelosi calls for reasonable Republicans to take back their party, implying that there are unreasonable Republicans. I would say that at a certain point you become unreasonable because the people that you're trying to work with don't have any reason or are unreasonable themselves. So, Nancy, have a Coke and a smile. You know the rest of that. And then within the last hour, Press Secretary Psaki stated, "It's disturbing to see Cheney attacked for simply speaking the truth." My dog's getting sick over there because she's eating wild strawberries. Worst dog ever. Speaking the truth. So, I mean, you can say it's the truth, but the reality is that he's literally, President Trump is probably the greatest president that ever lived. That's not me. That's his list of accomplishments. That's what he did within his first 4 years. That's right, his first 4 years. And the fact that everybody on the planet is trying to, who doesn't like him, is trying to stop him from being president again, which would mean, if reelected, that we would have national stability, and then all the preppers can go back to drinking milk and frickin' relaxing. I really wish we could. I'm going to close it up for now. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, down in the comments. I'm also going to put a few little timestamps in there just to get used to doing it more and more and more. I know this is just one subject, but it's broken into tiny little ones. For those that are still watching, thank you. And like, subscribe, comment, do those things so that we can get more information out to more people and make this thing pop up in more feeds and things like that. Until then, stay safe.